This video is sponsored by BUSR Sports Betting, the only trusted sports betting for passionate fans. For player prop bets, NFL division winner, even the Super Bowl for the 2022 season, simply sign up on BUSR.com to make a deposit, get up to $1,000 plus 25 casino chips bonus, and wager on anything, NFL anything, and the Philadelphia Eagles all year long. Use the promo code SPORTS100FP to make your bets. I'm not the betting type, guys, but definitely give this a shot. It is fantastic. It is addicting to use this. Check out the betting lines every single week for anything you want. And I want to thank BUSR for sponsoring this video and safe betting.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
We have come to this moment of where we need to talk about, obviously, the whole debacle, okay, the whole entire issue. It's not really an issue, but between the Twitter messages, between the comments on some of these videos I do make, and it's because of we're facing Carson Wentz this week. Okay, so if I get on a little bit of a rant, it is what it is. It's going to be about this whole entire situation, which I can't stand talking about it. It's to a point where it's just drilling a nail into my head, and the pain just won't stop. Okay, I respect anybody's decision and opinion on why they still like Carson Wentz or they are a fan of Carson Wentz. I have had friends that were Peyton Manning fans, Colt fans when he was with the Colts, when he went to Denver. And you could be a LeBron James fan wherever he goes. It doesn't matter. If you support a player and, want to support him wherever he goes, it is what it is. Like, I have nothing against that whatsoever. That is perfectly fine. I'm not the master at telling anybody what to do on who to support, who not to support if somebody leaves this football team in the Philadelphia Eagles. The problem I'm having is that, and this is just YouTube in general, but it comes to a point where nobody is going to censor me. Nobody is going to put censorship on me. That's definitely not going to happen. I will be myself. I will always be myself. Just straight to the bone on every single thing I feel. Raw emotion is what I'm all about. And that's, I try not to get into the moment where I'm going to say something I'm going to regret. But at the same time, I take a deep breath and go through this process of this whole Carson Wentz situation, playing the Washington Commanders this Sunday. Okay. Carson Wentz, I was a huge supporter of Carson Wentz when he was drafted. Okay, that's pretty much when I started YouTube back in 2016. All right. And, there's been good games. We won a few games in 2016, and then Howie Roseman puts together this great Super Bowl team from free agents to just prospects in general, and this team just went on a run, led by Carson Wentz, that paved the way for Nick Foles in the playoffs. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind that after that Super Bowl that Carson Wentz was jealousy, and I think anybody would feel that at the end of the day if you weren't the one sitting there winning that championship, holding the trophy that you played in that game. So I totally understand that. Because Carson Wentz now is a Washington Commander, I don't care about, everything is shot out the window at this point. What he did for us and everything is always going to be in the back of my mind, and I'll always appreciate that. But when it comes down to it, guys, he's a division rival quarterback right now. I don't give a crap who he is at this point. We need to beat this team this Sunday. Okay, that's the whole point to all this. That's a lot of people get their emotions in the way of, because it's Carson Wentz and used to play for the Eagles, that, I hope he has a great game. And look, had a really good year with the Colts last year before he wet the bed pretty much in that Jaguars game, which it wasn't just him, it was the whole entire offense. And then obviously getting another shot. Frank Reich is the only reason why that Carson Wentz is a quarterback right now. There's no doubt about it, okay? You guys have to remember that as much as everyone thinks that the Eagles kicked Carson Wentz to the curb, that's not the case, okay? They drafted Jalen Hurts to be the backup quarterback for years to come. Jalen Hurts was not supposed to be a starting quarterback. It just wasn't supposed to happen. Do I like that pick? Whether Jalen Hurts is a success or a failure in the future, I will always hate that pick because I don't think at the time it wasn't the right situation for this team to draft a quarterback that early, especially when you signed a quarterback to franchise money and you're already signing a quarterback in the second round. But ever since after the Super Bowl, when Carson Wentz had an LCL, ACL that literally lingered from 2017 to 2018, and then having the spinal injury, and then he didn't tell anybody he was hurt, and he tried to force himself to play, and I just didn't like the way he handled that, and that was part of it. You know, every quarterback that has succeeded him, Nick Foles has succeeded him. Okay, not only the Super Bowl, but the year after that. And then Nick Foles wanted to get a fresh start somewhere else because Carson Wentz was the franchise quarterback and they were already paying him. So that was the decision the Eagles made. You know, Nick Foles bought himself back into free agency and he went to the Jaguars for not even a game and ended up, breaking his collarbone and was out for the whole entire year. So Nick Foles has never stayed healthy on a team, especially with the Eagles, ever. Okay. And then really after that, it was bad play after bad play, and Carson just didn't look the same after that 2019 season. I thought he did a fantastic job at the end of 2019, putting the whole team on his back with off-the-street receivers. Greg Ward making that touchdown, that touchdown catch against the Redskins at the time when they were called that. And, we had to go into see it, and we had to, have a home game against Seattle, and, Carson Wentz 8 plays in gets a concussion, and I think the concussion was part of it too. I think he was ruined in some way just because the guy just could never stay on his own 2 feet. He always had a lingering injury. Something was always going on. And then once 2020 came along, he looked bad the first game. I made a video when we were up 17 nothing against Washington. I made a video saying there's something wrong with Carson Wentz. There's literally something mentally wrong with him because he does not look the same. And I got attacked for it, and that's what happened. I said what was on my mind. People didn't like it. Oh, just give it another game, Joe. Give it another game. But I was right once again. I'm not right all the time. I am wrong a lot of times too. But when I see something wrong with our quarterback, something was definitely wrong. When Jalen Hurts is in the building, mentally getting beat up by Jalen Hurts, looking over Carson Wentz, looking over his shoulder every single day, to the point where after he was benched in that Green Bay game, that was pretty much it. Go back and watch the Colts press conference. Okay, go back and watch that press conference. He wouldn't even allow Philly media to even ask him any questions. I mean, nothing about Philly. He wanted no part of it. I don't know if it was the Colts press conference or I think it was an interview. I forgot who it was with. I think the Colts punter, or I forgot what show he was on. But that time when he got benched and Jalen Hurts came into that game, he was already thinking about leaving Philadelphia because he got benched. Because of a bench. Like, that's why. And he wonders why he got benched. He played like crap, throwing 2 picks a game. I mean, he played like shit. Okay? Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but he is the one that talked to his agent. He's the one that designated this trade. The Eagles didn't say, hey, they didn't call him up and say, hey, we're going to trade you. Carson Wentz wanted to be traded. That report came out that he was looking to be traded. And there was no reason behind it. No reason. I want to know why. We all want to know why. And it just never happened. And then it was what really disgusted me the most about when he left, which I still just will never forget, is that it was really to the fans. Like, he said nothing to the fans. Not this BS PR statement that somebody wrote for him. Thank you, Don Smolinski and Jair Roseman and the Eagles organization. Not one of those. I'm talking about a humble, man-to-man, role model to fan, to player, to the organization, to the fan base. Nothing humble came out of him leaving. Nothing did. And that's what really pissed me off. People that buy your jersey and you just leave without saying a word to nobody. And people are going to go in the comment section. They're going to say, oh, you just can't get over it. Well, how am I not supposed to be pissed at that? From all we've given him, and winning a Super Bowl, paving the way for Nick Foles, and just being injured all the time. Like, it wasn't the best career that he's had. He ruined it for himself, guys. It doesn't. Once you get paid that franchise money, like, you got to block the outside. You shouldn't let another quarterback get into your head during training camp to these games. Every time Carson Wentz had an incomplete pass or threw 2 picks in a game, he was always looking over his shoulder because of Jalen Hurts. Yeah, you could blame the Eagles for drafting him, but if you're getting paid franchise money, nothing should faze you. You should be in there to say, yeah, I'm going to stay in that spot. Jalen Hurts ain't taking my spot. I promise you that. He's going to be learning from me. I'm not going to let him take my spot. That's not the attitude that this guy had, okay? The most weak mindset I've ever seen in a quarterback, okay? I think a part of it, too, is he got married, had kids, and his wife had a lot to do with it, too. I think that was part of it. Because, not to mention, guys, a lot of these quarterbacks, a lot of these high-paying, the guys that get high-paid in the league, and especially at the quarterback position, these guys get married. Their wives are telling them what to do, what decisions to make, and, sometimes these guys don't even have their own decisions to make. So that's probably another thing that probably happened on top of everything else, okay? And it's just to a point where, I didn't even feel bad. Like, I couldn't wait for him to get traded. When he went to the Colts and the Eagles got a first-round pick, I knew that this was going to fail. Him being with the Colts was going to fail. I just knew it was going to happen. I didn't think it would happen after a year. I thought maybe they would have gave him at least another year after that. But then he goes to Washington for 2 third-rounders, whatever the trade was at the time. And, he designated this trade first getting out of Philly. Like, look, I just don't like him. I don't like him. This guy would come in, play hero ball. This guy, when you remember when Jalen Hurts would get into a game, like he would come in for Carson Wentz for a play, and Carson would just not let it happen. You knew he just didn't want Jalen Hurts to have one good play. He didn't want Jalen Hurts to succeed or at least make a play during a game. I can already tell. Okay? No matter the theory of what you guys think, there was a theory in 2020 where the Eagles told Carson Wentz to gain weight and just be a statue and more of a RPO quarterback. That's what they wanted, apparently. And Carson kind of suffered from that, okay? Because when he went to the Colts, he lost a lot of weight. He looked like he was more in shape, but Carson Wentz will never be the 2017 Carson Wentz ever again, even now. He doesn't, I think, obviously he lost weight, he looks faster, but he's not that athletic as he used to be. He's not. Not saying he can't gunsling it, not saying he's not dangerous outside the pocket when he rolls out. He definitely is, 100%. But, I'm making this video because, like, everyone is like constantly saying, like, either I have too much hate for Carson Wentz. It's not even like hate. I just dislike the guy. I just dislike the guy for just his attitude towards this city and just like how he just gave up so easily. Like, I never seen a player give up so easily, especially the money that he's making. Like, I don't even know how you can't move forward and at least go in 2021 and be like, okay, guys, let's get this right next year. Like, that wasn't going on. It was literally like, I want to trade. I got benched. I shouldn't have been benched. And he acted like a freaking baby over it. And that's what happened. Regardless of what the front office did, if they did anything to him, if they kind of handicapped him, they RG3'd him, they made him more of a pocket guy, they didn't want him to run outside the pocket or whatever the case may be, they made him gain weight, whatever it is, okay? It's Carson Wentz, and you're getting paid that franchise money to be the franchise quarterback, is you have to deal with anything that comes to. Look, Carson Wentz can always talk to the front office about, I don't think this is going to work out with me being in the pocket. And if the whole thing is even true, if it is, there hasn't even been reports that it is true, but that was the theory of what they tried to change Carson Wentz into, a Nick Foles RPO type quarterback, and it just didn't work. And that's it. Like, he's a Washington Commander quarterback now. I could care less. I'm not thinking about what he did for us. I'm not thinking about. I'm ready to beat his ass this Sunday. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to yell about it. I'm not going to, like I used to yell about it and yell to the top of my lungs about this Carson Wentz situation. I'm just done with it. Like, it's old news. It's over with. But, Joe, why are you bringing it up? I'm bringing it up because there's so many people that have told me, like, oh, you hate him so much. Like, oh, the hate for Carson. Like, well, I don't know why you hate it. And blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know why you wish him to get hurt. Or, when I say I want to leave him legless, like, it's a joke. Okay, when I say I want him to walk on numbs after week 3 of this game Sunday, it's a joke. What I'm meaning is I want him to get sacked as many times as possible by our defensive line, by our linebackers, and get a pass rush. People take things way too seriously on here, and that's just a part of YouTube. That's just a part of what everybody does. I say one thing, and they think, like, I want the guy to get murdered during a game. Like, no. Like, I don't want the guy to get hurt. I don't want the guy to have a torn ACL. I don't want nobody to get hurt, okay? I wished him well when he went to the Colts. I wished him well, and that was it. Thank you for the first-round pick. That's all I care about because I knew that first-round pick was going to make a big difference for us, and it did. Not only that pick, but the third-round pick that came with it, which we used that pick. Obviously, that helped in the whole Devontae Smith thing as well. That third-round pick was used to move up, with the Cowboys to get, to move up, to give Cowboys that the second third round pick we had to get Devontae Smith in the draft last year. So that's really all I got to say about it. I mean, that's it. I think he's selfish. I think he's been given a silver platter. He went to the Colts, silver platter. You got Jonathan, you got Jonathan Taylor, the leading rusher of the league. I mean, yeah, he looks pretty good. He looked pretty good last year with the Colts. Yeah, with the leading rusher, I think any quarterback would. He still had a good year, though. Okay? Then goes to Washington in a pretty good situation. He's got, Curtis Samuel. You got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. I mean, you're loaded. You're loaded. Obviously, they're dealing with some injuries right now, but he's in a good situation. Yet again, not having to work for it. He didn't work for that. You know how bad it was? It was that bad that when he went to the Colts, after the Colts lost to the Jaguars, okay, after they lost, Carson tried to get a meeting with the owner for the Colts, and the Colts owner said no, declined it. There was teammates that were complaining about his leadership. And because he's a man of faith, a lot of people don't believe in God. A lot of people don't believe in the faith hoorah type of guy. That's just what it is. Like, people aren't religious. I mean, there are people that just don't believe in it and just don't care about it. It's just everybody's not the same. Okay? And there was questions with that. So, do I think Carson Wentz is going to go to, is going to be in Washington right now, and I think he's going to win them, go to the NFC Championship game or win a Super Bowl? Definitely not, 100%. This is the last foot forward Carson Wentz is going to get as a starting quarterback. This is it. I mean, he can't make it here in these situations that he has right now. I don't know what to tell you. He talked yesterday in his press conference a couple days ago about how he said whirlwind probably like 5, 10, 50, 100 times. Whirlwind. My career is a whirlwind. How I went to the, left the Eagles was a whirlwind. What happened behind the scenes was a whirlwind. That's all I heard. And the excuses and not even just that, even during that press conference and saying I could have been a better person, I could have been a better teammate. He probably acted like a piece of garbage when he was here. I wouldn't doubt it. Now, we all heard that, the veterans were, supporting Carson Wentz when he was here and when everything was going down, and, they tried to make it not look like anybody was against him. I'm sure as hell that some players did not respect him whatsoever for what he did. Whatever happened behind the scenes, whatever happened, definitely was closed, and no one said a damn word about it. They kept it within the team. There's no doubt that at the time, Doug kind of took everybody to the side, okay? Or I say Nick took everybody from the side and pretty much was like, let's keep this under wraps. Let's just try to keep this under wraps about what's going on and just try to get something done, and let's not have any news come out, and probably had a meeting with every single teammate in there, every player in there for that reason. Okay, so to say that he could have been a better teammate and a better person really shows a lot that he probably wasn't a great teammate at all. So I have no problem with any Eagles fans supporting Carson Wentz and hoping that for the best for him. Me, I'm just not on that train. I just don't care about him. I care for the reason that, when he was here, he worked his tail off. He was a hard worker. He should have been the MVP of the league. And because of that injury, he was not. And he paved the way for Nick Foles. Without Carson Wentz, there's no Super Bowl. Without Nick Foles, there's no Super Bowl. Don't know if there would have been a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz at quarterback. I mean, who knows? We'll always question that. But it's a stupid question to ask now because it's been how many years? Like, I'm here to win another championship. Okay, and it's not like I critique Wentz over Hertz. It's like I've critiqued Hertz a million times. When I had enough of Wentz, I was done. Okay, when I critiqued Hertz, I critique Hertz. When he plays a good game, I say how well he plays. If he plays bad, I will bury him because that's just what I do. I, slander a player because I know that player could play better. I don't slander him because I hate the player. I slander the player because, and not really slander, but I complain about the player because I know the player could play better. And that's the whole reason for it. You know what I mean? Trust me, guys. The times are I'm on the Hertz wagon, okay? Like, I believe in Jalen Hurts. To be determined if he's going to get paid franchise money is a whole nother story, okay? Even people are telling me, now you're on the Hertz train because of money. No, it's like I thought he had a perfect game. I thought I thought the Detroit Lions was a really good game. He just passed the one receiver the whole time. Obviously, he was the main target of the game, and the mismatch was right there. And I thought he was well. I thought he played really good. I think the Monday night game was a huge step up. But I'm gonna critique Jalen Hurts if he has a bad game. Okay, even when they had a good game Monday night, I still had things. I didn't say anything about Jalen Hurts. I thought Jalen Hurts was literally 100% perfect with 84% completion percentage. I thought he played fantastic. I was at the game. I was watching the game. His throwing motion looks totally different from last year. He looks like literally it was 24/7 training with Tom House, Quincy Avery, the rumors with Tom Brady. What did Carson Wentz do? He was in the offseason. What did he do? The couple times he brought the receivers up to Elvis country and threw the football around for a little bit. I mean, that's all that quarterback did for us in the offseason. He did the mentality is unmatched. It's not the same. Hertz is just something, Carson Wentz has the skill set, but I wish he had the Jalen Hurts' mindset. Okay? And you know what? They're two different type of quarterbacks that run two different systems, that play two different ways. Okay? Hertz is a different animal within its own. That's why, at least with Jalen Hurts, I know that he's going to give me all he's got. He's going to give me everything. He's not going to be lazy. He's going to leave everything on the field. That's what he's going to do for us. Carson, I just felt like just didn't do that multiple times. It's just people hate me for it. People are going to hate me for it. It is what it is. The times are over. 2017's over with. Okay? He's in Washington right now. Yeah, you kind of got to hate the team and him being the quarterback there because what am I supposed to be like nice? Or people are like, your hatred for Carson Wentz. Oh my God. I'm like, well, someone commented that the other day and I was kind of like, dude, like we're facing a division rival. What do you want me to be? You want me to be nice? You want me to say, oh, I hope he has a great game, but we really have to beat them? No, no. I want them to, I literally want to give him no yards Sunday. I want to literally manhandle him, pause, but you know what I mean. I want them to literally blitz and pressure him till there's nothing left, till he can't do anything else in that game. I don't care anymore. I mean, obviously I care because people are saying I still care about the situation, which, he's a division rival now, so we're going to be talking about. When he was with the Colts, I was like, well, the only reason I'm going to make a video about Carson Wentz when he was on the Colts was because of that. How many snaps did he play every game for that first-round pick? And then once it was done, I was done with Carson Wentz. It was over. And then he went to Washington, and I was like, here we go. We're going to be talking about him twice a year now. So we're going to Washington, and we're going to get this done. And that's it. This is my whole thing on Carson Wentz. It's been a long video. And I'm not trying to make this a huge, long, a big, long video, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care for the guy. I don't. As much as people say, why do you hate Carson? Like, why? That's the reason why. Rager didn't work out here because of the same reason Carson Wentz didn't work out here. Same reason. And Malcolm Jenkins had a lot to say. I think it was 2018 Super Bowl, okay? Patriots and Rams. Boring Super Bowl of the year. Okay? And Malcolm Jenkins said the Eagles caressed his ego. Doug Peterson caressed his ego, which I totally believe, because every time that Wentz went to the sideline, he would just get a pat on the back, like a little pat, and then he would just sit there by himself, not even sit with teammates or talk to teammates. Like he was trying to not give himself any attention, but by doing that, he really gave himself a lot of attention. Okay, that was one of the huge issues. And that Doug and Carson's relationship, I think they had a fantastic relationship. I think the media just kind of blew it up a little bit. But if you have a quarterback that gets benched and his mindset is already after getting franchise money, you get benched, and you literally start thinking about getting out of Philadelphia when you got benched one time. Wow. Way to work for it, bud. I mean, are you fucking serious? Like, who does that? Like, do you feel better, like, doing that? Like, you get benched and you're like, oh. And then you went up to, remember him and Aaron Rodgers, like, went up to each other and they had, like, this little talk, and then finding out later that, it was like, oh, you know what, you'll go better, you'll play better somewhere else. And, it was already on his mind after that game. And he got mentally beat. Nobody can beat Jalen Hurts mentally. That guy is he is a stone wall that no one can break through. That's why I love this quarterback. All we have to see this year is if that mentality in Jalen Hurts, that hard work ethic in Jalen Hurts, is matching his play. That's what we're trying to figure out this year. So far, it looks good. We'll see how the season goes. This is pretty much the rant on Carson Wentz, and I'm not yelling, I'm not screaming anymore about it. I'm not doing that. It's a waste of time. Sunday I'll yell and scream. Sunday I will if we lose, which I don't think we will. But that's how I feel. Everybody has their own opinion. It is what it is. It's YouTube. I'm going to get criticized for the crap that I say. People will unsubscribe, subscribe, whatever the case may be. I am going to be myself. I will not be censored. I will not be telling me that I shouldn't say this. No way. We live in a world that's way too controlled right now. Okay? You want raw emotion, this is the channel you want to be on. This is the channel you want to listen to. Trust me, there's some times that make no sense. I know. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not the smartest. I can't even talk right now. I'm not the smartest guy ever. I'm wrong a lot of times, but I don't work for ESPN. I don't work for, this is all you get. I'm just a fan. That's all it is. It's one man's opinion that means absolutely nothing, which is mine. It means absolutely nothing. That's all I got to say, guys. That's it. Just respect it. And if you don't, it is what it is. Okay? Because at the end of the day, I'm excited for Jalen Hurts. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited to see how much better he could become. And that's all. Carson Wentz is going to have a hard time Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. He wasn't meant to be here. Wasn't meant to be here. It's a shame. It is. But I'm over it now. And that's the way it's going to be. He wanted out. He designated that trade himself to his agent. 100%. Look it up on the internet. It's all there. And that's it. All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic day. Hopefully, you know what I'm getting at with this whole conversation. It's almost a half-hour video. I got to stop this. Way too long. All right. You guys have a fantastic day. Shake Squad up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.